think I am almost live. All right. This is day 3 of my 2-week attempt to stream every single day. Well, except for Monday. Monday doesn't count because there wasn't any assignments on Monday. So we're on day 3 of my daily creative challenge. I'm focusing on the challenges provided through Adobe XD on their site. There's a link in the description, wherever the description is. If it's below, it's below. All right, let's just move in. So we're on day 3. Day 3 is back to component states. I've been doing component states the entire time, so this really isn't interesting. Inputting anything new. It's just a matter of changing it around. So I'm just gonna do some more. I'm just gonna work with some drop down menus today. And change a few things to see what working. Oh, so 3 component states. Design a web experience that generates personalized messages. Create drop-down menus to designate the tone, context, recipient. Try using component states for each drop-down menu. I was hoping to get a little more pre-prep done on this today. Unfortunately, I got distracted and was not doing anything functional this morning, so it's it's basically the Wild West of design again. And I'm going to do something a little different. I'm actually going to jump into Illustrator first because XD is amazing. It does a lot of things really well. Vector stuff, you know what? Illustrator is the program to do vector stuff in. So if you're new designers that might be watching, I always have a trinity of programs when I design, whether I'm designing for print or digital. I usually have 3 programs that kind of just triangle what I need to do. When it's print, it used to be InDesign, Photoshop, and Illustrator. Now that now that I'm in XD and doing digital design, it is XD, Illustrator, and Photoshop. I don't tend to do as much photo manipulation for web design, but you know what, depending on the project, sometimes it needs, as I am focusing more on experience design, it's not as necessary. So I'm just gonna switch over my canvas to this, and it looks a little weird. I had tried to do this really quickly before my stream was scheduled. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just actually pulling off. So I grabbed these. These were from Vector Easy. They're really nice, and I just wanted to make some uniform canvases here. I wonder if I can select them all and just change all the height at the same time. Probably not, but we're going to try. 320, I think, and 430. Okay, perfect. That actually did what I wanted it to. And now that they're, we're gonna actually just, I'm gonna make them a little bigger. Let's go 330 and 440. And that's gonna be the size. Okay, and now I'm just gonna move them kind of just behind each. Okay, so we have 8, 3. Isn't this riveting television or broadcasting or streaming? Oh. Okay. There is probably a quicker and cleaner way to do all of this. I am absolutely sure, and I actually made one too many. That was 1, 2. Okay, close. don't think I need to be absolutely perfect. I think once I export these, I'll be able to get the PNGs with their transparency the way they're supposed to be. And if anyone's wondering what that noising is, I need a new chair, and this one is super noisy. So every time I move, it makes crinkly noises. Okay. All right, let's just, okay, so I'm just gonna export for screens. All my all my passports are selected. Nice thing about Illustrator is I can export to scale, which is great for dealing with developers. Sometimes you need to, well, not sometimes, you need to consider high resolution and stuff like that, which is why building stuff in Illustrator is really nice because you can scale up. Whereas I copied and pasted these vectors into let's not do that because this isn't okay. So let's just go to my Dropbox and just save a folder here. And let's go export upwards. Okay, there we go. Now I can just plop over here. I should be able to import what I need. Beautiful. Not exactly perfect. I'm going to want to clean these up later, but for now, they can do what I want them to do. So we're actually, okay. Yeah, I might end up cleaning those up sooner rather than later. Okay. So I'm just going to no, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's just, okay. So let's back over here. Let's just duplicate that and then delete off the stuff that I don't need. And then we'll just add those on there. So I think I just want to create a little effect here where we choose a birthday card. And I actually may not even do that. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to back into Illustrator and I'm going to play around a bit. I'm actually going to pull out the different elements from this really nice vector graphic. We're designing a card where we can select different options. So I need the different options. So let's actually, go back into Illustrator for right now. And then I'll come back into XD in a little bit. So right now, what I want to do is, actually, you know what? What size are you? If I can actually, what? I don't like weird sizes. Weird size is, okay, so we have the image and we're just going to transform and we're actually going to make these 320 by 430. And 5 and 5. Okay, that should not quite do it. What did I do wrong? Oh, that's what I did wrong. Okay, now we're good. Now we're almost, there we go, 320, okay. Perfect. Same with this. Let's go 5, 5, 320, 430. And we're actually just I'm gonna go back to my artboards really quickly, and we'll move stuff with the artboards now. We're just gonna rearrange artboards really quickly. We're gonna have 4 columns. All right, there we go. That's a little. My OCD was kept getting in here, and it was causing an issue. Okay. Transform. Let's do that. 320. There may be a quicker way to do this. No, okay. Yep, this is interesting, this is riveting, this is design. Anyone tells you that design is more than just moving pixels, incremental inches, or by increments, they're lying to you. That is 100% what design is. We're tweaking things, looking at something, judging it, whether it's we deem it to be appealing visually, if it works, if it balances, if the hierarchy is maintained, if colors are too close together. Graphic design, visual design is all about nitpicking little details. Okay, so now that we nitpick those little details, I'm gonna go back and I'll export again. Sorry, I'm gonna just save this in case Okay, now I'm gonna export for screens again. They're all still selected. And export artboard. Just replace those. And that's okay. So now that that's done, we're actually going to save a copy. And this is going to be background only. And I like working in SVG or scalable vector graphic, but I actually, for designing stuff and having, I don't mind sending someone SVG, but I would rather work in AI. I'd rather work in the Illustrator version. So that's that. And now we're just gonna jump into the layers here, and I'm gonna delete everything that isn't a background. And again, this is very tedious and so not interesting, but it is part of what I do. And we're gonna go here. So when we're mocking up stuff, we're kind of creating a scenario in our heads that we can represent and we can test for users. So if I were actually assigned to create a card building application, I would think about and I would make list of, okay, so what are the potential cards that people want to create? What are the potential options that are necessary? So we're just going to save as. And now I'm going to export again for screens. And we're just going to create a new subfolder for backgrounds. Great. Let's just do that. Then we're just going to export the artboards. And you know what? I actually wanted to, let's just select all of this. And so I have used libraries forever. I love using the libraries. They are a great feature, especially when you're like me and a contractor, freelancer, where you have lots of clients and you want to group them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to add, so what I'm going to do is actually go back to swatches. We're going to a new group and we're going to select all artboards and okay, so I created a color palette. And if I can easily, maybe copy it in and not have everything selected. Okay. Might have to do these one at a time, but once you do it, it's done. You don't have to worry about it anymore, which is why I love libraries. It's a little tedious when you're setting it up on the fly, but when you're doing it constantly, and this is going to be the background. I'm going to choose. So how are we going to define these colors? So we have green, teal, pink, and orange. And we're going to call them something cute, like lime and bubblegum pink and, orange. Yeah. You can't get, like pumpkin, it's not even pumpkin. It's a light pale, it's pale pumpkin. Ooh, pale pumpkin. Okay. So these colors are now saved in the library, so when I can jump over to XD in a moment. But what I'm going to end up doing is I'm actually going to break down these patterns so that they're not actually colored. And you'll see I have a plan. There is a plan. It is poorly thought out plan and probably could use some more planning. And if I were to fulfill this plan in the future, probably won't. So what we have actually 1, 2, 3 different patterns here. So what's going to end up happening? Yeah, so that's going to be our selection. Choose 3 patterns. So let's go. I'm going to actually duplicate the first 3 artboards. Then sorry, there's been like a minor shift to how I had my panel options set up, which threw me off guard because I usually save my panels for presets, but I got a new computer recently and I just never got back around to fixing it. So it's exactly the way I like it and everything is where it's supposed to be. And I don't use Illustrator every day, so things sometimes fall through the cracks. That's actually wrong. So we want to actually duplicate 1, 2, and 5. Okay, that's better. Now, perfect. Okay, so these are, and maybe just naming artboards and naming things make things a lot better. So we're going to go diagonal stripe, diamond, and Charlie Brown squiggly. Okay, so now that I have that, let's just do this. I'm actually just gonna isolate it. That makes it a lot easier to not lose everything. Then we're gonna select same fill color, Apple 6 on a keyboard. Just gonna go to black, we're actually just gonna go to the grayscale because it makes it a little easier. And then I can go back to, let's go 35 here. Okay. And we're just gonna add the swatch. Okay, perfect. And then this can go again. Oh, that is way too dark. All right. Let's go 50. Okay, there we go. That should be closer to where we're at. And these are just, you know, full on grays. So now that that's done, okay, apparently I didn't have to isolate them. All right, so now that we have the patterns in generic, like we can kind of just basically desaturated them, but not actually desaturated. So we're just going to export for screens. Again, export all and replace. Awesome. And good. Okay. So let's just start with the basics. We don't need to like go too much into here. I don't think that's exactly what I want for color. Maybe something a little creamy, a little more friendly. Even this isn't bad. I don't mind this. I usually don't go with the pinks and the purples, but I think for this week, for this challenge, I kind of want to go a little more earthy and not necessarily warm, but soft and comfortable. So we're just going for a soft and comfortable feel for this one. So this will end up being a bit of an overlay. We'll, you know, drop the radius of the curve in a little bit, add a bit of a drop shadow. Drop shadows are great. I'm just going to lighten it a bit. And this is an instance where I'll actually use opacity. I don't use opacity for text, just because when I'm designing something, I have to think about how I'm eventually going to get it into developer hands. For the most part, not for this stuff. This stuff is just fun and how do I do neat, interesting things. So, step one. Yeah, I know how to spell things. I really do. And that is not the right font at all. I think I had Font Awesome selected yesterday, and Font Awesome is amazing. If you don't use it already, I recommend it heavily. It's great for having just a vast selection of icons. They've recently started doing things. What are the things? I know words. I do know words. Duotone icons. Some Adobe products are a little behind in being able to implement them, but I feel like they're going to get there soon. I hope they get there soon. Okay, so we're just going to plop that. So we're going to go back, choose our pattern, and we'll go back to import, assets, backgrounds, and we'll choose our 3 patterns. And we'll put them in here, and I'm going to shrink them down a little bit. And I'm going to do some hover animation. So let's make sure they all get to be the same size. I don't want things to get really wonky, so I'm just going to go back and undo a few things. And then we'll scale down. And oh, still maintaining pixel grid, pixel perfect. Okay, so we have that there. We're gonna so now that we have, we're gonna just give a little label for our each of these. So zigzag. Okay, how do I spell diagonal? There we go. I do things so good, so good. All right. And diamonds. All right. So, okay, so what do we have? Wonder if I want to just do straight black and white on these. How nice would that be? Okay, I'm going to not worry about it for right now. We're just going to bring this box down to a little more reasonable. And that one's going to be right here. And we're just going to add a close button over here. And that can be small. This whole close and book and 16. Actually, you can be a little bigger. All right, there we go. And there, we have a close button, and we'll just move it over there. And I'm actually going to do all right, where does it make sense for this close button to be? I think it's actually this top corner. Right, actually where I have it. Okay, as this is a weird hybrid design educational stream that I'm trying to do, teaching things, learning things, asking questions, or just figuring out processes and stuff like this. So what I would normally do with something like this, if I were designing this for real world application, accessibility is something I would take into consideration. And luckily, people have created some great plugins for stuff like this, including this one, Stark, and I can check contrast. All right, so this gray on this background will be readable by everybody. They can see it, the size is fine, we're good. So if I had this close button right here, it is super accessible. We're just gonna actually jump over to layers, and then we're gonna group it, and I'm gonna throw another into the group behind. Just give it a little wiggle to see if it's center, because that's how people do. And then my Slack is not up to date, and I actually prefer Slack over Discord, so you guys can yell at me. Okay, so we're just gonna hide that. And then I'm going to make this into, so this is how I would name my layers. Close button. So I would not, okay, I would spell it incorrectly. That's completely accurate. I wouldn't spell it at all what it's supposed to be, but it's a close button. And that, yeah. What it is, sorry, what function it serves and what it is. So is it a toggle? Is it a button? Is it a text frame? Whatever. So this, and in here, I would actually name this close frame. And I swear I know how to spell things. I really do. I just don't. I choose not to do it. That's what it is. I absolutely choose not to do it. Okay, so now that that's done, I'm just going to Apple K. No. Or, sorry, Command K. Or Apple K. Your hotkeys are awesome. I recommend everyone use them. Sometimes I don't remember what they are and couldn't tell you what they were if I tried. And we're just going to drop down. We're going to add a little bit of opacity. Not a ton. I just want to, and we're going to linear color this. And this is, it's going to go, actually, we're going to go from white to surprisingly white. Actually, no, we're going to go to a little more white. Ooh, I like that I can. Okay, that might be a little too much. Let's drop it down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. We're actually going to go back here and we're just going to turn that background off again. Jump back into hover and we're just going to darken. We'll just add that text there. We're just going to decrease this a hair. And now if I preview, you can see what I designed yesterday and not what I was doing today. Okay, so let's just prototype. Okay, now if I preview, why aren't you hovering? Okay. Something's weird. What's going on? All right, let's just remove. Oh, okay, let's do that again. All right. Okay, back to design. Now we're at, okay. Now with that selection, I can do that fill again. Okay. And then I can go back to that color. There we go. It's a little backwards, okay. Now I should have something, there we go. Yeah, I'm not loving that, okay. All right, back to this, okay. Focus, focus. All right, so let's add a bit of a frame to each of these. Let's do them in proportion. Let's bring it down just a hair. Okay, so if that is nothing, piece. Okay, so that's fine. This is zigzag. And I'm just gonna move that background behind. Okay, let's okay. Copy. Okay. And again, let's copy this frame. And we'll okay and paste. Okay. And paste within set. Okay, perfect. Just move behind. And diamond, 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 diamond. Not really a girl. I don't find them girl's best friend. Okay. So I'm just gonna hide zigzag for a second so I can make sure that I'm actually selecting the right object here. Perfect. Okay. Might not be exact, but I think we're pretty good. Now that I can turn you back on. I'm gonna duplicate, sorry, I'm gonna go, we're gonna add a hover. No, missed a step. Okay, now I can add a hover. Okay, what did I do weird here? I did something weird. And one more time, we're gonna add hover. Okay, so we can Where's our center? Okay. Now I should be good. Okay, let's go back to default, default, default. And if I preview, now you should do some nice animation. And if I wanted to, I could even, here, not well aligned. Okay, I'm not trying to be too finicky about it. I'm just really finicky about it. It's bugging me that it's not lined up. Okay, so we have a close. I'm just gonna. We'll just bring this card down a little bit. It's quite a bit. I'm thinking if I were, you know what, let's just actually, so our size is 1280 by 800. If I can, sometimes things are quicker to do in, you know, Photoshop or Illustrator, this one, or a combination of the two. So we're just going to create new. As I move more to digital, everything is pixels. I used to work mostly in inches, even being Canadian. We're just gonna. Okay, so what I want to do is just effect, transform. We're going to copy, we're going to preview. We're just actually going to make a copy. We're going to make a bunch of copies actually. Come on. It would really help if I could access my transfer panel. Let's go. It's a little closer. Okay, there we go. It would have helped if I bothered to. Okay, so let's just file, transform, cancel. Let's just take a look at my transparent panel for really quickly. 300, 450. Effect, transform. Yes, apply new effect. We're gonna do one copy this time, and again, we're gonna 320. Perfect, and this we're actually gonna shift down. So let's just minus 250. Okay, and then we're gonna transform again, apply new effect, and then we'll just make a few more copies this way. 3, so 640, I think. Okay, so let's. Okay, I actually don't want them exactly in the middle anyway, so, but if I did, you know what, math, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what if I, no, okay. So object, expand appearance, perfect. And then we're gonna give a little bit of a rotate. And then we're gonna change the color to white. And And I'm going to export as a PNG. You can go back to backgrounds. And I'm going to use artboard. Export, perfect. And now jump back over to here. And file, import. And we'll just grab this really quickly. Move this. Not hit my mouse wheel as I go by, so it, causes motion sickness. And we're just gonna drop this back. Bring it forward a hair and reduce the opacity to just so. All right, that creates a really quick effect. I really like that. We can there we go. So we have an escape button. Really nice here. State is actually, we're going to set this to multiply, and the color is going to be okay. One thing super annoying to me, so annoying, like beyond annoying, is that they close the containers every time I jump in and out of it to change states. I'd rather just have like a button at the bottom is like to close, open. Because I'd rather have them open and see what's inside them than try to jump around. Because I've often hit something wrong that I shouldn't have. And then we're just going to go multiply. And that can change with whatever background we have. That's actually pretty not bad. All right, we'll just go back to what we are. Okay, preview. See what it's looking like. Huh, that's weird. I don't get the bounce. Okay, I'm not sure what's causing that. I'm sure I can figure out later. So if we choose, and then now, this is a little fuller, and I'm probably not going to get everything designed within time. But we're going to say we selected let's increase this to there, and then we'll just center. Yep, same deal, center. Color. This text probably needs to be centered as well. Same, and it just happened. Okay, let's do that instead. Okay, now we'll center. Now we'll center each to artboard. Okay, there we go. All right, so if we picked the zigzag, I'm just going to run into Illustrator again really quickly because, sometimes it's the best program. Okay. And then we're just going to end up duplicating this artboard. duplicate, duplicate, and duplicate. Okay. So, and duplicate. Okay. So we have zigzag lime, zigzag green, zigzag pink, and zigzag orange. We go back to our colors. Okay, and now I'm gonna zoom out. Okay, and then I can export for screens. I can probably just deselect the ones I don't need to do anymore. And I'll just export these ones. And we'll go here. And then back really quickly. Green, wire. Right, productivity is great. Productivity is nice. There's lots of benefits to it. Sometimes you go too quick and you add mistakes. So, okay. So none of these are, there we go. Let's just bring you really up. That way I can just drag and drop you into where you're supposed to be. Back to assets, backgrounds. Okay, I'm gonna run a little long today. I know I was trying to do these in an hour. That didn't happen. So if you're still watching, I'm gonna go a little over the hour, and I'm actually gonna try to get down to what they wanted for this one, which was a drop-down menu. And we haven't done that yet. So, but I actually got through the steps. So let's do nice little hover animation. This is the only one that's gonna tap out. So we're gonna add a prototype. And we're going to add a tap. And we're going to go to step 2, artboard 2. Perfect. Then we're going to, again, we can preview this. That's weird. They should, nope, we have to actually go back to, or not hover state. Okay, perfect. Now, okay, let's preview our interaction. So we can hover. So we'll go here. That can actually be a slower animation because that was really aggressive. I had issues with that. That was fast. So if we go 6 and we go, we auto animate. Yeah, let's actually auto animate. Let's see if we can do that. It's not bad. It's actually not bad at all. Okay. We can hover over these again. I think we'll go with the pink option, which will bring us into artboard 3, and we're just gonna design. I'm gonna just bring the opacity here, so when I add the interaction for this one, tap auto animate, we'll get the same effect. So go back here really quickly, hover, nice, perfect. Also hover, nice. Now we can go here. And this will be step 3. And this will be choose your message. And choose your massage. Choose your message. All right, that I very like 50% confident I spelled massage correctly. It is one of my, you know, I will. Okay, so we're just gonna do a few little cute buttons. So I'm gonna go back to design now. And so let's go. Okay. So I have some stuff here, and I actually just want to hide this on my panel for the time being because it can get a little distracting designing over top. So best way to do this is I'm not going to change the groups. I'm not going to delete. I'm not because I like the effect they cause. I'm just going to quickly just hide all of it for the time being, and it'll be very easy to jump back in at a later date and not. So now I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Let's go select occasion. And I probably won't do all of these, but I will mock up really quickly just how they're going to look on the thing. Let's go back and grab our little down caret or down angle as Font Awesome has it. And then we're going to actually, you know what? I actually prefer caret. So let's go caret down. Up. Okay, so let's just go solid. I have no idea why my Font Awesome is duplicated right now. Okay, so we're just gonna do a select occasion. Just gonna, you know, bring this in a little bit, make this color. Text is good. I actually like this color really nicely. Do I actually want to add just a very soft shadow just to give it a little pop up to people know that it is drop down list, so we're gonna okay, so now that I have this, I'm actually gonna design next steps. So this is gonna end up being select again. This is kind of into my naming style. Select underscore occasion, and then it's drop down menu. Okay, drop down. We're just gonna call it drop down. All right, and that's gonna be okay, and that'll move it. And again, solid green indicates that this is my master, so all changes to this can be affected across. So I'm not going to do a hover animation with this one. I'm actually just going to go straight to select. And this is where components and nested components can get really complicated, but really interesting at the same time. So if I go here, we'll go to prototype really quickly just so that the interaction's done. We're going to add a tap, and we're going to auto animate, and we're going to go to select. Now back to design. Choose that, back select. I'm just going to pull this open. It's going to go here. We're going to drop this all the way. We're just going to drop this down a little bit. And here's where I'm going to try a new thing. So I'm going to pull my microphone out of my ear and then put it back in, and it's not going to be awkward at all. We're just going to add an occasion down here, and what's going to happen, and this is going to be cool, we're going to create a box. I'm going to take the film stuff out of the box. I'm going to add some text in here. It's going to say birthday, which is interesting. Then we're going to go back to the Noble font that I've been using throughout this whole project, and we'll continue to use throughout this whole project. Whether it's, it's not a bad font. It's just I chose a font that would work for many things, and it will work for many things. And we're going to bring you down to 24. It's a good. So this is where I would throw in filler stuff. Like sometimes I don't have the icons I want right away. So what's going to happen is I just create there. So I'll just put in a little filler circle, and then I'm going to at-K that, and then we'll use the repeat grid just to get really nice spacing very quickly. Move it down here and then ungroup grid. Perfect. Okay. Just go there. And now with birthday selected, we're going to create. So we'll just go inside here into our main component, our master component, if you will, and then we're just going to drop that. We're going to bring that back to here. We're going to bring this down to almost nothing. A little gray. That's very, very, very light gray. And then I'm going to turn the fill off on that. Okay. So with the component selected, we're going to go back and we're going to add a hover. Perfect. Now with the hover state selected, the rectangle color will go on. This will become book. No, this will become regular. Nope, book's fine. Okay, and now we'll, with that selected, let's go. Why didn't none of my, okay, let's try this again. Okay, perfect, okay. Best wishes and fare thee well. All right. Okay, let's see what happens here if we preview this really quickly. So I do have to jump in and make sure that the text and this is one of the things I don't love about components. I do love them, don't get me wrong. I absolutely love them. So we're just gonna copy this text, escape again, go hover, there we go. And that's that. And fare thee well. And we'll do the little flip trick. Okay, there we go. Let's back to default. Okay. And here's where it gets a little interesting, because to do this properly, I need to build out multiple levels of things. But for right now, we're just going to center this in the middle, and this is going to be occasion. And we're just going to jump up to screen, and we're going to go back here, and we're just going to test this out. So this is going to be But the nice thing about this, okay, if I go, I can now design a flow for the user that can actually take them to 3 different paths and then 4 different paths. Whereas before, if I wanted to do these, I would need to make so many options just for even to show hovering and creating. So now that I'm doing this, let's go here, selected, choose our color, which is going to be pink. We're going to select our occasion. It was a little weird. There was definitely stuff that I could do to improve the auto animation on that. And you know what I'm going to do is do that. Okay, so let's do select. We'll show what it looks like. We're going to actually copy all of these within it. Perfect. Then we're going to go back to default. And we're going to actually add them in here. Perfect. We're going to line them up. And we're going to move them up here. Just kind of to the bottom, not quite all the way. And we're going to switch the opacity to 0. And we'll see if this has a desired effect. And while we're in here, I'm going to hit select again, and we're going to go to prototype. And we're going to add a new interaction, and that's going to go back to default state. Okay. This is where like prototyping is going to get a little tricky. So if we're testing this with a user, what I would probably do is get them to hover over something and then tell them what to select. So you can choose, like, look at these. We're going to end up choosing this. And then after they play around with it a little bit, that way they're actually choosing what you want, so you can work them all the way through. I think we'll move you up. Perfect. And we're just going to back to select occasion. And we're just going to give a quick little preview again. Select occasion. Perfect. Then we get the hover. Nice little bump so we know what we're selecting. And all right. And I think, theoretically, I don't know if this is possible. This is the first time I'm trying it. Wow, live. So we're just going to duplicate this really quick. And it's not actually going to do anything. It's just going to be dummy for right now, but so if I go to select, and we're just going to duplicate this artboard really quickly. If I let's do select birthday, and we're actually just going to add tap, and that should automate to here, and this should go back to default. And this should go back to default. And we're just going to add some ungroup component, ungroup component. So this will be and hit over design really quickly. I can actually edit this text. And we're just going to select greeting. And then select recipient. I don't know. This is so annoying. This is super annoying. So I got some stuff here that's hidden and I just need to make it go away. Select recipient. Okay. Probably not the best verbiage. So let's give this whole flow a try. So we have zigzag, perfect. Zigzag selected, and we can see the colors. Colors are great. Now we can do the drop down. Okay. So that wasn't great. Let's change this a little bit. Okay, so so if we have select here, prototype, we're actually going to bring this prototype back. Let's cancel. Oh, it's annoying. Okay. Default state or step 4. Okay. Now let's get this back to default state. And now we're going to duplicate. Okay. So if I select, perfect. I can do my little auto animation. I can actually cancel that. So in select, now I can go to tap and all right. Okay, now with that closed, I can, all right. One more time, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. Okay, so what we got, we have a bouncy bounce. Bounce is nice. Go to zigzag, choose our pink. Perfect, we're gonna drop down for birthday wishes. Auto animation is still a little awkward, so I'm gonna go through and probably try to fix that again. Just give it a little adjust, and then we're gonna select Christmas. Okay, we're just gonna so if I have tap, I go to select, we're auto animating, perfect. Oh, I'm gonna add another thing on tap, and then we're gonna go to artboard form. Okay. So. Just jump over to design really quickly, move that over. And we're just gonna change that to Christmas. Okay. Okay, let's once more into the breach. Okay, so we have that. Some hovers here, really nice. Slow. Ha! There we go. I'm not going to do the rest of them, but I think this was pretty cool. I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm just going to get some quick little export. I'm not going to worry too much about being perfect because honestly, this is just a challenge to see if I can design quickly while talking for the entire time and, you know what I'm talking about. So the animations are really subtle. They're not like, it's not the prettiest. I wasn't worried about pretty. I'm worried about functional. And basically I can pretty it up at the end. We're just trying to think structure with what users would want, how they would select through, and what makes sense to choice. And kind of like, I would probably add a little carrot at the top to indicate what step we are in the process so people know how far they have to go. It's good, great UX tip is people are okay filling out stuff as long as they know that eventually it will end. That being said, the less you have to make someone fill something out, the better. So that does it for challenge number 3. I will be back tomorrow, 1:30. I will know better later on, probably tomorrow morning, what time exactly. So if you're interested, please stop back. Again, I will post a link in the Discord for Adobe XD. So if anybody has any questions, you can find me there. And if you want, leave comments, subscribe. I would appreciate it, but not necessary. But if you want to see more stuff like this or something more specific or tailored, or if you have questions, please ask. I like being helpful. All right. Thanks. Have a great day. I hope to. Oh, and I'm definitely going to check out other people's stuff tomorrow and later on today, and hopefully comment and yeah. All right. Bye.